So welcome everyone to our Expedia Cruises Thursday night travel talk. My name is Janice Tice. I'm one of the franchise owners of Expedia Cruises here in Sherwood Park. And our travel talk tonight is being presented by the 6 Expedia Cruises locations in the Edmonton area. Tonight, our special guest is Megan Edelman, Area Sales Director from Silversea Cruises, featuring all-inclusive, ultra-luxury cruising. Everyone on the call is muted. However, should you like to control your video camera, you can by turning it on or off. It's up to you if you would like to show your faces to us. If you have questions, please use the chat feature at the bottom of the screen. We will answer them after the presentation. As you know, it's been over 2 years since March 2020, and the world changed forever. If you have joined us this evening, you enjoyed traveling as much as we do. And as we continue moving forward with cruising, we begin to realize that travel opens our mind, and that's why you're here. You love to travel and you miss it as much as we do. Cruises are sailing today with the highest levels of COVID-19 mitigation of any industry. The cruise industry is leading the way with stringent health and safety protocols. COVID-19 safety protocols incorporate testing, vaccination, screening, sanitation, enhanced ventilation, mask wearing on some ships, physical distancing, and other proven public health measures that are facilitating a responsible return to sailing. There is a difference between traveling and planning for your future travels. If you do not feel comfortable right now, feel free to reach out to a consultant who will help you and guide you and show you how you can start planning for now and for the future. At Expedia Cruises, we have had many passengers, including franchise partners that are on right now, that have sailed recently, and they come back with raving reviews. They were thrilled to get back on board and have wonderful experiences that only cruising can provide. We found that again as franchise partners last week. At Expedia Cruises, we say that travel is a bit more complex than what it used to be. Now more than ever, the travel professional advice is highly required and needed. Our travel consultants are here to help navigate the new complexities of travel and make sure your vacation is safe and seamless. I'm always amazed when people say that they book their own vacations. I always think I could change the oil in my car, cut my own hair, but I prefer to leave those to professionals. What you receive when you book with a travel consultant at Expedia Cruises, you will get the following: expertise. With hundreds of different cruise ships and lines, a travel agent can help you find the cruise that's right for you. Pricing, you will never pay less than booking directly with the cruise line. You will never pay less. Well, that was weird. You will never pay less booking directly with the cruise line than booking with us. We have Expedia Extras, Expedia exclusive stateroom offerings, where we can save you anywhere from $250 per person up to $1,000 or $1,500. Let us find you the best pricing. We can help you with information regarding passports, visas, entry requirement, and COVID protocols. Those are constantly changing, and that's why we are here at Expedia Cruises to help you. Assistance in emergencies or when problems occur, we are here to help. At Expedia Cruises, we are committed to find you the best value for your travel dollars, and we are more than cruises. Our name is Expedia Cruises, air, land, and sea vacations. We can help you plan all the components in your vacations because of all we are in your neighborhoods, so you can shop local in our locations. Whatever your dreams are, our Expedia Cruises consultants can help you make them come true. Now, why we're all here, I would like to introduce tonight's special guest, Megan Edelman, who will guide us through the world of Silversea Cruises. Take it away, Megan.
Thank you so much. What a lovely introduction. Thank you for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, jump into it. If you have any questions, as Janice mentioned, put it in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer any inquiries when I've completed my presentation. Alrighty, share sound. Okay. All right, look good, thumbs up. Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Megan Edelman. As she mentioned, I'm based in San Francisco, and I'm delighted to speak with all of you this evening. We have a new tagline, which kind of came from the pandemic. The world is open to the world. And we kind of now have this cheers at Silversea that says to the curious, because that's really our brand, who we are. I always like to tell consumers and advisors that my mom worked for Pan Am, so I was that little kid getting skirted around all over the world. I've always been curious. I love adventure. I love exploration. I know the last 2 years have been really tough for us, but we are open. We have 6 ships in the water. We're about to have 8. And then once the Antarctic season begins at the end of this year, we're going to have all of our ships back in the water. So we are cruising. We're going full force. We have, as Janice mentioned, some of the strictest, safest protocols to travel in the times of COVID. And so I have a little video by Steve McCurry. He's kind of a very well-known photographer who does a lot of our marketing and photography. And we did this great video after or since COVID because we all miss travel and we all miss being curious and seeking adventure. So as I was saying, to the curious, we can kind of dive into that a little deeper.
To all of you who have been yearning to travel, I'd like to say just one thing. It's time. It's time to go to the edges of the world and see that there is no end to discovery. It's time to go out and seek those hidden treasures. The most precious things on earth aren't things at all. The world is reopening. Open up to the world.
Mr. McCurry, we're about to leave port.
Would you please have this sent for me before we go?
Certainly, sir.
You know, that inspires me to go travel. I get very excited every time I see that video. And as you could see from all the footage from that video, we are the global storytellers. For those of you who are familiar with Silversea as a brand, who are not so familiar, we go to over 900 ports of call, all 7 continents, and over 128 countries. If land touches water, Silversea visits that destination. What is unique in that is every other cruise line in the world goes to about 1/3 of that. The closest to us is Holland America. I believe they go to 408. We go to 948 ports of call. So to the curious, to the adventurer, we are truly the destination storytellers, small ship, intimate experiences, getting off the beaten path and highlighting the destinations you're going to see. So we are really the global storytellers. We have expanded our fleet. We are very lucky. We are now part of the Royal Caribbean family. Let's be honest, I probably wouldn't have a career in cruising right now if that wasn't the case. We really needed their financial support, capital backing, so we could improve our existing brand and then make it through the challenging last 2 years. But we are very strong. We are a multi-billion-dollar company. We are not going anywhere. And in fact, we just delivered 2 new ships last year, and we are delivering another one by tomorrow. We got a new ship tomorrow by July of 2023. And then we will be releasing a new ship every year until 2026. So we really have given a facelift to all of our hardware. I know we don't necessarily all go sailing because the ships are cool, but it is nice to have brand new sparkling ships. All of our ships are between 100 to 600 passenger. A lot of the tonnage that our ships are, our competitors will put 1,000 to 1,200 people on there. We almost like to joke that we were built for social distancing because Silversea offers you space, from suites to shared common areas to dining options. It's not a stuffy experience. It's small ship, it's boutique, it's intimate, and we want to take you all over the globe. This is a perfect example of the access that Silversea provides to destinations across the globe. So we go under the Tower Bridge in London. We're the only cruise line that offers this experience. This is our Wind. She's just about 250 passengers. And so we are getting up close and personal to these iconic ports of call. Many ports of call, we're the only cruise line that visits that port of call. In many cases, we're the only cruise ship that overnights in many of our ports of call. So, you know, you are traveling because you want to see, you know, the Mediterranean or the Galapagos or the Maldives or New Zealand. It's not about the ship. The ship is beautiful, the food is delicious, the service is great, but you are traveling because you want to go to the specific destination and see what it offers. And unlike many cruise lines, Silversea recognizes that, and all of our itineraries and experiences are highlighting the destination that you are planning to visit. So just to recap, we have the most space of any of our cruise competitors as far as square footage to guest ratio. The worst suite, as we say, on a Silversea cruise is 376 square feet. We have no internal suites. All of our cabins are suites, no portholes. We have about maybe 10 suites that are large full-length windows, and then the rest are all verandas or ultra suites or multi-bedroom. Again, kind of half the size of many of our competitors. And we almost have a 1-to-1 crew to guest ratio. Traditionally in cruising, it's either 1-to-5 or with luxury 1-to-3, and we're 1-to-1.4. So, you know, I like to say that we deliver luxury in a way that it's anticipating your need before you ever realized that you needed it. And that's something that I've really experienced on our sailings. So we are truly all inclusive. So when you're working with your local Expedia cruises and they, you know, you say, hey, my budget is $5,000 per person for my sailing, that's fine because we are all inclusive. We include round trip economy airport transfers, pre and post hotels, shore excursions, butler service, gratuity, premium beverages. Your key card is just that, it's a key card. It is not a bill. You will go home without a charge. We do offer, of course, you know, if you want a massage on board, if you want business class upgrades, of course, those are additional. But I can tell you, I'd say about half of my advisors, when they're working with a consumer like yourself, they do not have a bill when they get home. So digesting that from a sticker shock perspective or seeing our price point, just know that you will not pay anything on the back end because we are giving you the total all-inclusive package ahead of time. And that, of course, goes for our Silversea Expedition as well. Everything included from, of course, all the Zodiac landings, our enrichment lectures and expedition team, expedition gear, all of that. So all-inclusive brand from pickup at your door to drop off from when you're returning home. And so that's really what we call ourselves. We are a door-to-door product. And I really encourage you, if you're cruisers or travelers in the past, to really look at your final cost or total for a lot of the experiences that you've created or, you know, enjoyed in the past. I can guarantee you that the value of a Silversea sailing is competitive, if not more affordable than many of your past experiences, even though we're an all-inclusive luxury line. So that is a really important key about Silversea. The value of what we offer is really unprecedented and unmatched in the industry. On all of our latest ships, on our classic ships, we have 8 dining venues. We don't have a main dining room. We don't have some main buffet where everybody gathers. There's 8 restaurants that you can dictate the experience that you want that evening. La Dame is our high-end French bistro where we do, our sommelier does a different wine pairing every night. We have La Teresa, which is handmade pasta, local Northern Italian cuisine. The grill, where you grill filet mignon or lobster tail or your salmon, you order whatever you like and you grill it on your own hot lava stone. And that's casual. Even on our more formal nights, I wore jeans and a button-up shirt. It's a casual experience. Kaiseki, which is our pan-fusion Japanese. Salt, which isn't salty taste. It stands for sea and land taste. We have a salt bar, a salt restaurant, and a salt lab. A salt lab, we have 30 test cooking stations where you'll have a local chef come on and you'll do interactive cooking experiences with a local chef and learn about indigenous cuisine port to port and regionally on the sailing that you're on. The salt restaurant is the rotating menu that reflects every port of call. So you are really eating your way around the world. And then salt bar, which is taking local flavors, local herbs, local spices, local wines, and offering you incredible cocktails, wine, and beverages. Atlantide, it's like your traditional steakhouse. Silver Note is an incredible, International, it's kind of like a tapas bar with live jazz music every night. And then Spaccanapoli, it does not roll off the tongue, which is thin crust pizza that they serve all day and night. So that's a great option. But I love it because I'm a chef myself and I like to make really intricate food and enjoy foodie experiences. Whatever you're feeling, you can design it throughout your sailing with Silversea, which I really, really love. And we have options that reflect the local, oops, sorry. I went a little fast there. Options that reflect the local cuisine. So with that being said, I want to talk a little bit more about SALT, which is our latest culinary program. It's a whole ecosystem on our cruises where it goes to from shore excursion to the salt bar, to the salt lab, or the test kitchen that I talked about, and then the salt restaurant. So I have a little video talking about when we launched it in Greece.
We like to travel, we like to go different places, but having one place to go, unpacking one time, and then having the world kind of presented to you, we couldn't get better than that.
It's been a voyage of discovery and a tremendous pleasure. Great food is always more than what's just happening on the plate. It's about the stories behind it, it's about the people who make it, grow it.
You feel like you're going off to where people really are living and experiencing, their life on the island.
I want to give the chance to my visitors to taste the cheese and the yogurt that I have used to eat.
It's not just any one thing. It's the shore experience. It's the adventures we're having on land. It's about bringing that food culture and those experiences back on board. And together they really form this wonderful ecosystem of culinary curiosity.
It appealed to me because I was getting to know Greece that perhaps I hadn't known before, I hadn't heard of.
Getting a little bit of the local flavor and learning more about where we are.
This is my life. It's not a story. This is my life.
One of the really exciting things about being on board Silver Moon is seeing how salt lives on board the ship. It's about bringing that food culture and those experiences back on board. We've loved getting to know Greece, diving into the different cultures and traditions of the islands. And the best thing is we're just getting started.
I've had the pleasure of experiencing SALT and it is incredible. It really brings the destination that you're visiting to life in a way that I've never experienced in traveling before, as it's storytelling through the indigenous food and beverages of the region. And it's a really beautiful new component of our sailings. So as I mentioned, we just took 3 new ships, delivered 3 new ships in the last year. The Moon and Dawn are sister ships to the Muse, and then the Silver Origin is in the Galapagos. We've really evolved aesthetically in a lot of our ships. These really beautiful new builds are these kind of sexy grays and greens and earth tones, velour, moving away from that kind of outdated country maroon curtains and dark wood. We really want it to be bright, fresh, enthusiastic, a lot of huge windows and a lot of intimate spaces as well. So you can really dictate the vibe and energy you're feeling day in and day out when you're getting on and off the ship. So the Silver Origin we're very excited about. She's a 100-passenger, kind of almost looks like a luxury yacht. 91 crew, so going back to that almost 1-to-1 crew to guest ratio. 4 guests to every 1 expedition leader. So you are really getting up close and personal with these unique islands. First ever purpose-built expedition ship. And again, that was the Royal Caribbean capital that we really needed to get these new builds going. We are really, really excited about the Silver Origin. She does 7-day itineraries and 14-night itineraries as well. And we circumnavigate all of the islands. So we even do the Western Islands, the Northern Islands, the Southern Islands, and the Central Islands. So any specific type of wildlife that's really on your bucket list, if it's the blue-footed boobies or the albatross or whatever it might be, we give you an opportunity to see it all and on a brand new, gorgeous ship. So again, this launch, we started sailing with her at the end of last summer, and we have a sailing every week. So it's year round. It's a great option if you, want to travel in the middle of February. It's equatorial, so there's something year-round to offer everyone. And it's a really, really beautiful ship. I also had the pleasure of touring it. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I've been to the Galapagos Islands a few times, and she really helps it come to life. Of course, all snorkel gear included, kayaks, landings, expedition, all of that. So it's a true expedition experience. We are also really, really excited about the Nova. This is our new ship, as I mentioned, that will be coming out in July of 2023. It's on sale now for bookings. The Nova is very unique for many reasons, but the main reason we are so excited about this is that it is going to be one of the first hydroelectric fuel cell powered ships in the industry. It's going to be, when sailing, 40% less emissions, and when in port, 0 emissions, no single-use plastics. The list goes on and on. We have a training about it next month, so we'll have more to release on it. But what it really is doing is shifting the environmental impact of cruising. I'm in San Francisco, so of course for me and a lot of people in my community, of course we care about the environment and we want to keep the oceans going so we can keep sailing on them. So by 2026, all of our ships will be outfitted with this type of design. So we're really moving towards an environmentally friendly way of cruising, because it won't be around if we don't continue that. Thanks to Royal Caribbean's backing, we are the first cruise line that's offering this, and it really had to kind of be Silversea, because the price point is kind of what we need to create this ship and power what really drives this this kind of construction forward. So we're really excited about it, and sailings are on sale now to book, and the sailings begin July of next year. So I also want to quickly talk about another option. As I mentioned, we are a door-to-door product. We pick you up from Black Lane, transfer, limo, they'll come and get you, take you to the airport. Some will, economy air, someone will meet you on the other side to pick you up, a Silversea representative, pre and post hotels, everything's included door to door. But we started offering something called port to port, which is really just cruise only, not the pre, not the post. You would never be able to tell once you're actually on the ship who did a port to port or a door to door. The ship sailing is absolutely identical, but it's not the pre and post. It's a 50% deposit, which is non-refundable. So to lock in that pricing, you have to pay 15% now, and it is a non-refundable deposit. But to show you some of the price differences, as you can see, my screen is blocking this, but as you can see with this port to port versus door to door, it's about half. So if you have frequent flyer miles, or your son or daughter can drive you to the airport, or you want to take an Uber to the airport, or you don't need the pre and post, then this is an amazing option for you. They exist on about half of our sailings, and they are attached to sailings up to a year out. So every first month, we add another month to the year of assigning a port-to-port sailing. So it's not every sailing offers this, but a lot of them do. And if you look at these savings, again, $2,000, you're going in on a Silversea ship for 7 days, on all-inclusive. The Dawn is brand new. She just started sailing in March. And you're getting an all-inclusive experience for $3,900. So, and you have to forgive me because I'm in San Francisco and I haven't converted things to Canadian dollars, so I apologize for that, realizing now. But you get the idea of the savings that is viable when you might select a port-to-port experience. Silversea Expedition. We came into the expedition market about 15 years ago. A lot of people in the industry said you couldn't do luxury and true expedition. Well, thankfully, we proved them wrong. You can have a luxury, all-inclusive experience on a beautiful high-end ship, small, of course, intimate, incredible expedition guides, still get off the beaten path, see the flora and fauna, do zodiac sailings, do the kayaking, have incredible lectures, and still have a luxury experience. So what expedition sailing really is, I was lucky enough to just do Antarctica in December with my family with Silversea. And it is true expedition. It is a, I wouldn't say rough and tough, but I mean, we were hiking up to go see this penguin colony, and it was spitting snow. We're wearing goggles and all of our gear and hiking poles and hiking in the snow. You get up close and personal. We watched these baby chin strap penguins hatching and taking their first breath. It was pretty amazing, but you really get up close and personal. So when you're considering maybe, you know, you've done a river cruise or you've done the Mediterranean on a Silversea classic ship or really any type of travel, expedition is the fastest growing sector of the cruise industry. It's about marine life, flora, fauna. It's about getting off the beaten path and seeing unique destinations. I'm sure many of you are quite well traveled. And so we are going to see places that a lot of people haven't been. From South America, going down the Amazon River, the Maldives, going to expedition around Sri Lanka and going to the Seychelles, the Kimberleys in Australia, the Faroe Islands, the fjords of Norway, the British Islands, polar regions, of course, Arctic, Antarctica. So Galapagos is actually our #1 seller, not just an expedition, but as a brand, which has surprised a lot of people that our #1 seller is an expedition destination. As I mentioned, we have the brand new Origin there, only 100 passengers. And then, of course, Antarctica. It's a bucket list for many people. I was lucky enough to do our bridge cruise, which is our flyover cruise. So you take a private business class only jet from Punta Arenas to King George Island, and you get on the ship there. What that circumnavigates is the Drake Passage, which for many people, I get horrendous motion sickness. So that was a really great option. And it was a huge time saver. So our whole Antarctica portion took 6 days because you don't need 2.5 days each way through the Drake Passage. So we were able to do an FIT in Chilean wine country and do Patagonia and wine country in Chile for another week. So it's a big time saver, and it's also a big nausea saver if you get motion sickness. But of course, we have much more extended sailings than that, and we have 2 ships in Antarctica in the Antarctic summer season. So plenty of availability and lots of options. But we go to unique places, and this is one of my favorite things about Silversea. When I was kind of started looking at our destinations when I started working for them, I was so excited about going to islands in Micronesia, Macronesia, Papua New Guinea, going down the Amazon River, seeing wild jaguars. We're the first and only cruise ship that is small enough to actually go down the Amazon River. So you're seeing this interesting swamp life and indigenous life in Brazil. And I'm going to these isthmuses and seeing really true wild experiences of remote destinations that many, many Westerners and travelers don't get into. As I mentioned, the Seychelles, the southern coast of Africa, the western coast of Africa, Madagascar, really interesting expedition destinations that read very, very well on a ship. I've done a lot of Africa. My previous company, I used to be our Africa expert, and I can tell you, driving in a car, no matter how luxurious the van, from park to park, you can have 11 hours between these drives. Doing a sailing to do Africa or other destinations like that that are really spread out, Asia, South America, is an amazing way to see these destinations. Also, we have really great solo supplement offerings. We have hundreds of sailings that offer a 125 solo supplement. And on these sailings, where they're branded as a solo sailing, we have a host and a hostess. We have special solo traveler events. Probably about 1/3 of passengers are solo travelers. So it really gives you an opportunity, if you travel alone or you and your partner can't decide on the same destination, that you can travel with Silversea alone and not pay double. And then lastly, we offer great options for groups, or basically going for free. You get 9 of your closest friends. You want to go on a Silversea sailing? Great. We will be able to get you on there for free. So if you want to get a group, if you have a bridge club, if you have an ornithology club, if you have a go to the country club and golf with your buddies and want to get a group together on Silversea, we can do a bunch of amenities to help you get that group going, and you can go for free if you get 9 people. And as I know Janice mentioned, all of these promotions and everything that I talked about, you will 100% get the best price when you book through your Expedia Cruise advisor. We work exclusively with them. And so if you are shopping around for pricing, I can guarantee you, from shipboard credits to incredible air packages, all of that, it's going to be by far the best if you book through your local Expedia Cruise. So thank you for that. And I will stop sharing my screen to see if there are any questions.
Okay, so thank you, Megan. That was fantastic. I'm ready to go right now. So we do have some questions here that we'll go through slowly.
Okay.
Is the salt experience available on every sailing?
It is not. It is available on our 3 newest ships, the Dawn, the Moon, and the Muse. And those circumnavigate all through Europe. And then Nova is going to have all of our new builds. And then I think in the next 4 years, we're going to retrofit all of the existing ones. But it's Nova, Dawn, and I'm sorry, I misspoke. I said the Muse, I meant the Nova. So Nova, Dawn, and the Moon. And those are our 3 newest ships.
Okay. So next, do you have your 2024 sailings available to book yet?
We do through May. And so each May we release them. So I would say in the next few weeks, the remainder of 2024 will be released.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, are there any early booking discounts available?
So that sounds like that might be a question from someone who has traveled with us in the past. So we no longer do that. What we replace with that is our port to port. So committing to the port to port with a non-refundable deposit can get you like a 50% off savings. And in some cases, a 60% off savings. So that's kind of what we did away with. We used to do an early booking incentive and we eliminated that. But I know that if you reach out to your Expedia advisor and there's a specific sailing that you want, as the reps, we will absolutely work with you to get the best price possible and get shipboard credits if it's available, and really kind of enrich your bookings to make sure you're getting the best value out of your experience.
Fantastic. Okay, so we have a few more things here. Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you dock in Venice?
So we dock in, it's a really great question. Let me pull up the name of it. It's not the one that everyone else was banished to. It is, I should know this because I'm literally going to be there in July. If you want to go to the next question, I'm going to pull it up because
okay. So the next question is, if I want to go to Europe this year, do you have availability?
Absolutely. We absolutely have availability. Some of our sailings are full. As you would imagine, of course, we're not going to St. Petersburg, but a lot of people canceled off our Baltic. But we have amazing prices. If you haven't been to Helsinki and Copenhagen and Stockholm, and also I can tell you Tallinn, Estonia is amazing. They're amazing destinations, and our port-to-port prices for week-long sailings this summer are about $2,800 US. But also, of course, having the door-to-door option as well. But we have tons of options still in the Med. Yeah, so absolutely. The luck of us is that we have 8 ships operating right now, so we have a lot of inventory. So we absolutely have the space if you want to do a sailing with us this summer.
Okay. What is the best month to go to the Galapagos?
So that is a great question, and I will answer it with it really depends on what you want to see. If you want to see that, I can say I've sold it for about 12 years, and I've been like 3 or 4 times, and I've been in fall, winter twice, and summer once. And the destination is equatorial, so the water is kind of the same at all times. I will say the marine life is often very similar, but what's different is the mating and hatching patterns of all the different birds and mammals. So it's kind of like Antarctica. Do you want to see the babies hatching? Do you really want to see the albatross because they only mate and have a hatching for 1 month out of the year? If you want to see the red-footed boobies, you have to go to the northern islands. in the first quarter of the year. So to that, I would suggest doing research about what, because I can tell you I've been there 3 or 4 times and I still have missed stuff. So it's teeming with life 24/7, and you get to be there for a week or 2 weeks and you get a snapshot of that incredible world. So I always suggest to clients to do a little research. And what are your priorities? Do you really want to swim with sea lions and see hammerhead sharks? Do you really want it? What kind of boobies do you want to see? Do you want to see the albatross? Do you want to see them hatching, or do you want to see them mating or laying eggs? Or so many options. So I would say, honestly, it's great year round. It just depends on what you really want to see in that destination.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find the Venice port yet?
Yeah, I'm about to pull it up. If there's one more question, I
do. There's some great questions. What is the deposit required, and what if the price goes down?
Okay, so we dock in Fusina, not in. So it's not the port, or the port that they had shifted almost all the other large vessels to, because we're pretty small. So we were able to dock. I think it's like 20 minutes or 25 minutes outside of Venice.
Okay.
Okay. So the next question was, sorry.
What is the deposit required, and what if the price goes down?
So we have dynamic pricing, so the price will never go down. It might get a port to port pricing identified to it. And you could cancel and book the port to port pricing, but then you're eliminating the transfers, the air. So the way that it works, you do 20 for our non-port to port. So this is just door to door, is 25. And that's fully refundable up to 120 days prior to sailing, minus, and this is in USD, so you have to forgive me. I don't work with the Canadian market often, but $250 per person admin fee we keep, but it turns into a future cruise credit. So if you want to cancel and you're uncertain about a destination, you have up to 120 days, and then you can just take that 500 US and apply it to a future sailing, so it doesn't go anywhere. So it's 25% upfront for a door-to-door sailing, and so it has a flexible cancellation up to 120 days. The door-to-door does not have flexible cancellation. 15% deposit, non-refundable. That price point is what you're locking in. The port-to-port won't go down later. Say you paid a door-to-door price on a sailing. Later, it gets assigned a port-to-port. The door-to-door will not go down. We have dynamic pricing. We increase our pricing every quarter. If a port-to-port gets assigned to that, you're welcome, if you're outside of cancellation, to cancel your booking and get the port-to-port pricing if that's something you prefer. And then it's just cruise only, no air, no transfers, all of that. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I still see it as the value, right? It's all about the value. So, and if the pricing is going up, as you say, every quarter, lock in your price, get all the perks, get all the value that you need to make your vacation that much better.
Yeah.
Are you selling full?
We are sailing full from a COVID perspective. It is, I would say, our Galapagos in Antarctica has really sold out full. Just with Omicron coming back, we had some cancellations, but now it's coming back. But we are approved to sail at 100% occupancy because of, as I mentioned, our tonnage and square footage and our passenger count. We totally, and all of our crew just are two to a room. I mean, hopefully you haven't seen any of those horrible videos during COVID with some of the other mass market cruise lines. They can't have enough crew because they have 6 to a room to facilitate the amount of crew that they need for the amount of guests that they have registered tonnage for, et cetera, et cetera. So because as I mentioned, we were kind of built for social distancing, we can sell at full capacity. But I wouldn't say most of our classic ships have been selling at full capacity. I think we had to pull from every ship like 6 suites for quarantine. So say 96%. Yeah.
Okay. Can I pay in Canadian dollars?
Oh, that's a really great question. You can. Yes, you can pay in Canadian dollars. Yes. Because my advice, sorry guys, I'm filling in for someone who's in Canada and I'm in the US, but I have advisors that pay in Canadian dollars. So I would certainly imagine Canadians can pay in Canadian dollars.
Okay, and this question is from Randy. He'd like to know how he can get your job. Just have to throw that in there.
Take Chaz out of his role and take it over. I'm very lucky.
So
I'm very lucky that I sailed on Silversea.
no, this is fantastic. So now this is more questions from Randy now, but
okay.
So this has been a fabulous presentation, and we thank you for this. And another one quick question: how is your 2023 sailing, like filling up?
Great. I mean, it's all destination specific. Galapagos, completely full. The Arctic, goes through the polar bears, fjords of Norway, Greenland, Iceland, totally full. And we have suites if you're interested, but I mean, we're at like right now where we're pacing to sell out. I mean, I would say it's really Baltic and Alaska, which is not as full. We have 2 ships in Alaska because we had one that was meant to be in Asia. And then of course, with the pandemic, we shifted the itinerary. So, you know, agility and flexibility in the last 2 years has been very imperative. But for the most part, I mean, we're performing very, very strong, which is great for us and great for our clients and great for the advisors. So, yeah, I mean, there's still availability, but we're set for a lot, especially our expedition, to totally sell out.
Okay, well, that's it for questions. So as you've heard from Megan, travel has begun. And if you're looking to travel even 2022, you need to start looking now, because 2 years have gone by with no traveling. And people have been wanting to travel, and we're seeing people lift and shift and lift and shift. So if you're looking to travel, you need to start looking now. And as also to what Megan said, they've got 2024 out, as do all the other cruise lines. So reach out to your Expedia Cruises consultant. Start planning your next vacation. We're all itching to travel, and the franchise partners and consultants have traveled. They can walk you through everything. And I think it's really important that you understand the complexities, but also the ease and the comfort that you feel when you board a cruise ship. So reminder to make sure you follow your local Expedia Cruises on your Expedia Cruises franchise location that you work with on their Facebook page and also on their YouTube, as this recording will be loaded up on those YouTube channels. And again, our next travel talk will be on Thursday, May 19th at 7 p.m., where we're featuring Windstar Cruises, luxury small ship cruising. Again, Megan, thank you for a fantastic presentation. And I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. Have a great night.
Thank you for your time, everyone.